Hey, it's Vanezia. Welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into today's video, I want to give you a heads up that today's topic will touch on sensitive things, including eating disorders and body image issues. So if these subjects are triggering to you, please take care of yourself and feel free to skip this video if needed. Today, I'll be sharing some of my personal journal entries from a very special notebook that I received from my husband's mom, Susan, after she passed away in 2017. In these entries, I open up about some of my struggles and dark thoughts, and I hope that by sharing my story and my journey towards recovery, that I can help others feel less alone on their own journey. So I am back at it again with another podcast episode because I don't have any storage space in my phone. Go figure, what's new? I constantly save video clips in my phone saying, I'm going to make a video about this, and then I never get around to it. But today I want to discuss some personal topics that relate to me. And I'm out here in a park while I'm filming this. So if you hear kids in the background, just know that I'm sharing a space with children. This notebook that I have came to me from Gage's mom, Susan, and my relationship with Susan was about 2 years long. It was from 2015 to 2017. And even though it was really brief, I feel like my relationship with her was very healing to me. It was helping me fill a void that I was experiencing from not being around my own mom. And I also feel like by being around Susan, I was helping her fill a void because she didn't have her daughter living at home with her anymore. And her son was gone for a while. Gage was gone to Japan for several months. So I feel like I got to really lock in with Sue and be her friend. And we would hang out and go places very, very frequently. So it was like, hey, I'm chilling with your mom now. We hanging out. We going on dates. We spending time together. And that's how it was for a while. But yeah, I kept this journal for a long time. And what I would use it for was mostly to document my eating habits. And I've had this journal since 2017. It's 2024. So I've had it for about 7 years. And I would constantly document things such as my binges, or even good days where I was eating on track and actually had adequate intake for my caloric burn. I used it to document insane stuff like when I would just eat breadcrumbs and ice chips. And I also have some really fire recipes in here like peach cobbler, fried chicken, and sweet potato pie. Valerie's sweet potato pie up in here. These it's some good and some bad in here. But I recently read, well, I won't say recently, in 2023, I read this book called Eight Keys to Recover from an Eating Disorder: Effective Strategies from Therapeutic Practice and Personal Experience by Carolyn Costin. And when I went to the library, I was just walking around and this book stood out to me. It jumped out to me. It was like in the center of the library. And I grabbed it thinking, oh, yeah, I don't have an eating disorder. I couldn't struggle with ED. I'm too big. Impossible. Big people don't have eating disorders, right? Only the thin, like emaciated people have eating disorders. And to be honest, in the deep recesses of my mind, I have longed to be that thin, like emaciated looking, and like I'm a size 00. We're gonna do a family intervention on you type thing. Like I've fantasized about that type of stuff. And even though those are thoughts that I have, I've never thought, oh yeah, I have an eating disorder or I struggle with this. Even though I know I've dealt with binging and purging, over consumption of food, not to the point of a binge, but just eating too much. I've struggled with restriction, caloric restriction, and over exercising, all in an attempt to lose weight. It's like you try to lose weight the wrong way, their quote wrong way, and then you end up going overboard and your body is trying to rebound. But it's like your body tries to rebound when you go and restrict. And I didn't have anybody around me at the time to say, hey, your habits are fucked up. I lived alone for 7 years. So I literally dealt with this in solitude and behind closed doors. I can eat a whole pie, and due to stomach issues, it's gonna bubble back out of my stomach real fast. It might not go back out from my mouth, it's gonna come back out through the other end real fast. It's like water. It's like all that sugar. Oh, you thought you were gonna eat that? Mm-mm. I've dealt with IBS, IBS-C, and IBS-D. Oh wait, and let me go back and tell you about the significance of the book. The book that I read about eating disorders, it actually made me realize I do struggle with an eating disorder. And it made me realize that the root of an eating disorder is actually the emotion of anger. For you to feel something so intensely and then turn it back on yourself like a weapon, turn back on yourself, that's anger. That's not love. That is deep rooted anger where you have been so hurt that you try to hurt yourself now. As a kid, I dealt with things like bullies, especially as it related to my weight. I was not the thinnest kid in class. I wasn't the biggest kid in class, but I definitely dealt with people ostracizing me and belittling me due to my weight, which at the time, I'm just a kid. I don't know how to fix weight. I don't know how to, I don't know nothing about nothing. Working out, didn't know nothing about counting calories, none of that. I just was a kid. It was other kids that brought it to my attention that there was something wrong with me. And instead of learning healthy ways to accept myself, I ventured into unhealthy ways to conform to the standards of others. And one of the instructions inside of the book, Eight Keys to Recovery from an Eating Disorder, they tell you to write a letter to your eating disordered self and actually thank yourself for getting you through whatever you were dealing with, whatever time of your life you were going through these things, because that version of you manifested as a protector. So you actually can express gratitude and acknowledgement to that version of you and slowly but surely start to heal. So here's the excerpt from the journal from June 2nd, 2023. And I wrote, "Today I reviewed this journal cover to cover, and it is clear to me that I have an undiagnosed eating disorder. Without meaning to, I've secretly struggled with deep caloric restriction, over-exercising, junk food binges, subsequent purges, panic, fear, meticulous calorie counting, as well as guilt and shame about my weight. Guilt and shame about my slow weight loss progress. I've dealt with compliments and condemnation about my progress. Some people say, 'You haven't lost weight.' I tell myself, 'I can't lose weight. I will fast more. I will work out harder. I'll do better. I'll start again on tomorrow. I'll start again on Monday.' It's been a roller coaster just to get to 178 pounds. I remember seeing 243 pounds on the scale. I was too ashamed to take pictures. I remember the constant headaches and the diarrhea, and the purges followed by constipation. I remember when people would ask me how I lost weight, and they'd get mad at me when I didn't tell them the truth. They were right. I was omitting some details. I was omitting some details. I was omitting, bruh. I was omitting the not so glamorous parts. Honestly, I wanted to lose enough weight to be hospitalized, to have interventions to cause concern and make anybody that made fun of my weight feel like they made me feel like worthless shit. I wanted to be 98 pounds or less. I wanted to be hashtag thinspo with the quote dainty legs with the thigh gap in socks and a girly sweater that concealed my thinness. I want it to be healthy as well. And those two desires conflict. I don't know if I'll ever be 100% recovered. The desire for being sickly thin is still there, and it's just suppressed by my desire to be healthy. I still want to find a way to get revenge on my bullies and on people that didn't accept me the way I was. But I'm starting to realize that I can't weaponize my body because the only person that gets hurt is me. Plus, how other people perceive me is a reflection of them. I've been called names by people at school, had my fupa criticized by grown men, and all of this led to self loathing, isolation, and self harm. The only revenge in this scenario is to reverse the hate with love. First, self love, then radiate that love onto others. I can't take in the hate anymore. I tried. I tried to make them rue the day they ever hurt me, but it's just going to hurt me, and it will hurt the people that actually love me. At the root of it all is anger. And you know what they say about anger. It's like drinking poison and expecting it to kill the other person. It's like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at somebody else. You are the one who gets burned. To me, anger is trapped energy. It has the potential to do well, and it has the potential to destroy you. You can only do well if you use it the right way. It will destroy you if you hold it in. Anger can enter your body and mind, and it's like coal. It must be processed. The process of refining anger slash coal will turn it into love, which is beautiful and valuable as diamonds. It's crazy to think that nobody noticed, but I also do a good job at keeping people away. I'm working on not isolating, but it is my security blanket. I'm working on comforting my disordered thoughts and emotions. I think it's time to find a therapist with a specialization in eating disorder recovery. I finally started going to Overeaters Anonymous, and so far it's been very eye-opening. I know I can turn my struggles into success and turn my pain into purpose, but first I have to turn my hot, angry coals into diamonds. It is through self-love that I will truly shine. I know that when the waves of life throw sand at you, you gotta make a pearl. So that's what I'm determined to do. Thank you to my disordered self. Thank you to my healed self. Thank you to the part of me that is aware. Thank you to the part of me that can make decisions based on my awareness. Thank you all for getting me this far. Now we will combine forces and level up. We will reach out to others for help. We will lean on others for support. We will drive forward on the road to recovery. 6/2/2023. Signed, Vanezia Hamilton. I'm so glad this is a podcast right now because I am toe up. Like, I'm snotty nose crying in front of these kids at this park. And I appreciate you for listening to this episode. And now that I've read this note, I do believe that I can finally let go of this journal. I have another journal entry in here from like 2019 that's still standing where I binged. I say it's 7/20/2019. Today I binged on what? It doesn't really matter. Why? Now that's what matters. I was hungry, tempted, and I felt that I deserved something tasty after a long day. I deserve nutritious food every day. I deserve a tummy that feels good. I deserve warm food prepared at home with wholesome ingredients. I deserve to move my body daily. I appreciate my body, and I am grateful that it functions fully. I should listen to my wiser self. I should listen to advice from my fiance. If I'm not binging, that means I get to save money and save calories. I will not exercise to compensate. I will exercise to show respect to my body for its ability to move. I will still eat dinner. I will not throw the junk food away. I will eat it in moderation. I will not let food control me any longer. I will not make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. P.S. I tossed that junk food. It's tasty but no good. High in salt and sugar, not worth it. I feel better after eating dinner. Love, Nisi. 7/20/2019. So that train of thought was when I was still in the thick of it. And then by 2023, when I read that book, I felt like I was finally starting to recover. And I was doing much better because I was reaching out for support and started going to Overeaters Anonymous. Did you know that they have Overeaters Anonymous meetings online? You can go to oa.org and visit a meeting at any time of the day in any part of the world. I've been in Overeaters Anonymous meetings. It's like 3 a.m. my time in Memphis, but the sun is bright and shining in Australia. Okay? Like, I remember looking at the OA website, oa.org, thinking, oh, I want to join one of these meetings, but I was so scared to go to the locations that they had. And this was pre-COVID. But after COVID, they started doing more online sessions. And I'm so grateful because that took away the major excuse that I had. It made me actually start going. So I need to go back. I haven't been since 2023. I haven't tapped into one of those groups, but this is a major breakthrough. I'm so glad that I grabbed this book, The 8 Keys to Recovery from an Eating Disorder. And if you want to grab a copy without going to the library like I did, you can always utilize Audible. I'll provide the link to the book in the description, and I'll also provide the link to oa.org in the description for you as well. Thank you so much for being here today. Let me know if you've dealt with similar struggles in your life in the comments. And of course, let me know what you think of today's video as well. And as always, when the waves of life throw sand at you, make a pearl.